So this guy, I'm going to pick on him. He's one of my favorite people in the world. His name's Doug, and he has Parkinson's. And again, he's a guy that goes to Vegas, and he's in Waikiki a lot, and he's trying to. So he has to do a lot of walking in his business because he's trying to show people different store sites and look at different properties and whatnot. And he was having a problem of freezing about every 10 feet. So he would get going and he would just get stuck, and then he'd have to try to restart, and he would get stuck. And it was frustrating, it was embarrassing, and so we worked on a strategy. So we talked about how we were going to handle this, and my clinic is in Honolulu, and we're actually on the corner of one of the busiest streets in Honolulu. And so I said, okay, Doug, our goal is to walk, these 2 blocks all the way around. There's stoplights, there's a lot of distraction, a lot of stuff going on. And I said, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to pick a target, and we're going to focus on that target, and we're just going to keep on adding one down the line. So I said, we're going to focus. I want to hear about your stuff, your great business deals. I don't want to hear about them now. We can talk about them afterwards. So we're just going to focus. So we get out of the clinic, and we open the door. We start walking. And I say, okay, Doug, get a target, the big tree. So he'd walk to the tree. We get close to the tree. I said, another target, that sign. He keeps on walking. We walked the whole 2 blocks. Didn't freeze at all. He was freezing every 10 feet, a whole 2 blocks. We get to the entrance of the building, and he starts talking about this deal in Waikiki, and he freezes. And I go, boom, Doug, stop, focus. So it can be done, and it's kind of fatiguing because you're not used to thinking about moving, and training yourself that way at first is kind of mentally fatiguing, but it can be done. And Doug has pretty much no problem with that right now, so. Because he doesn't like to be hit by me. I don't hit my patients, I'm kidding. Okay, posture. Your back will tell you that Sister Anne Marie was right. Okay, I am the posture police. Most physical therapists are, but with Parkinson's, I am the ultimate posture police. Posture will make a huge difference in function and how you move, your upper extremity dressing, everything. Posture is the key, is one of the major keys. So I'm going to have everybody, I'm going to have you kind of sit and kind of slouch down. If you're already slouched, that you're good. And I want you to kind of sit in a slouch position and try to raise your hands over your head. Good. Now sit up nice and tall. Now raise your hand. Goes higher, doesn't it? Yeah. So posture has a huge implication. One of the first things that the women will lose the ability to do, or one of the things, is managing their bra. And some of it is fine motor, but a lot of it's just the posture, because they can't get back there anymore. They get all tight anterior. The men do too. And so by focusing on your posture, opening up here, it really makes a huge difference in your dressing, all those types of things. Also, maintaining your posture all the time will decrease freezing, I guarantee you. Because what triggers freezing, we talked about before, is when your center of gravity gets in front of your base of support. That's a recipe for trouble. You're going to either fall, you're going to freeze, or going to stumble. But if your center of gravity is over your base of support, which is good posture, then that doesn't happen. The freezing just simply doesn't happen. So actually, this is not too bad posture, and actually Jack's pretty good, so this is staged, I'll admit it. But typical posture, again, is to kind of drop your center of gravity if you have that postural instability, so you're flexed at your hips, at your knees, you get rounded upper back, rounded shoulders, and a forward head. And then as your gait gets going, this posture gets accentuated, and then you go into that festinating gait. So this is, and this causes a lot of problems. We talked about pain. A lot of people with Parkinson's have back pain because these postural muscles are having to, pull the back up. You're really putting them in a mechanical disadvantage, and it causes, they basically fatigue and cause pain. So to decrease all those things, you really need to just work on your posture, and I'm going to give you a couple of tricks. So one thing that I teach people to do is Actually, I'm going to have you slouch again. If you're slouched, you're good. You can stay. Then after you slouch, what I want you to do is pinch your shoulder blades together. And so that's just one simple trick that you can do. If you pinch your shoulder blades together, it automatically kind of realigns you, right? It puts your, if you had a plumb line, it puts your shoulder, your hip, your knee, your ankle all in one line. And so this is something that I teach people to do, and I just have them do it all day long, because what you want to do is kind of want to increase the resting muscle tone of these postural muscles. You want to bring your body attention to them, and they'll work better for you, especially when you're in off periods and you're having a harder time and gravity's getting the best of you. The more that you've worked these muscles, the more the nervous system has sent signals to them, the stronger they are, the more they're used to working, you'll be able to fight some of those symptoms and move much better. So if you're in Honolulu, and I have all my patients when they walk in front of window fronts, they'll check out their posture in front of their mirror and they'll do this. So if you see that in Honolulu, they're probably one of my patients. But so it's a simple thing, right? But it works. It really, really works. And the postural muscles, the ones that we're going to talk about when we talk about designing an exercise program, they're different type of muscles. They're called slow twitch muscles. They're designed to work for long periods of time. And so you want to work them all the time. And that's why just being conscious of your posture, and I'll show you some exercise later on here that you can do too. Posture braces. There are some braces that I will occasionally use. I have had some success with the posture braces, but not terribly great success. They're a little bit uncomfortable. These braces basically, what they do is they kind of pull your shoulders back and encourage good posture. They don't necessarily hold you in place, so it's kind of more of a tug or a pull. And for some people, it just helps. It's more of a reminder. So it's a way to kind of try to retrain your muscles a little bit. And so for some people who will be willing to wear them, they'll wear them for a while, kind of use them as a training tool, and then not use them anymore. Usually the women are the only ones that are open to wear them. I haven't got one male yet to wear one, but I'm still trying. Okay, freezing techniques. We're going to talk about external cues and some research behind it, but basically give you, again, some good take-home tricks. A lot of times people will have a hard time initiating movement. You'll stand up and you try to move and you're kind of stuck already, and then a lot of times that can lead to trouble or lead to a fall. And what's happening in that circumstance, you got that freezing, your feet are glued to the ground, both your legs are loaded. So you're trying to move one or both of them, but you got weight on it and it won't go. And so what works well is doing, I teach my patients, is the poor man's hula. And what that is you're gonna stand up and you weight shift from side to side, and then you weight shift to one side and take a first big step. And that does two things. So just the fact that you're standing up and you're doing this poor man's hula, you've already turned off the automatic pilot and you're working on the frontal cortex, right? So now you have control, because when you don't use the frontal cortex, you don't have control, and the Parkinsons has control. So by initiating this movement, you're already ahead of the game. And then by weight shifting, this is preparing you for movement, and you're offloading a leg so you can pick it up. And what I do is teach people to do that who have problem with freezing, and have them do it the same way every time. So whether it's stepping with your left foot or right foot, I have them step with the same foot every time, and it works. I'll have people who just freeze all the time, and they train themselves to just do the hula. They don't freeze, okay? Because you're bypassing the automatic part, and you're moving purposefully.